Hey everybody, this is a look at my black ghost knifefish tank, although I might be changing the name of it to my Crenicichla Regani tank, but we'll talk about that later. I just wanted to do a quick update, wanted to have a little bit of a look at my Crenicichla Regani right there. And what I want to mention is that it is most definitely a female. When I first got this fish, I did a little update, talked about it, and I went under the assumption, and I believe I even said in the video that it was an assumption because this doesn't hold true in all cases, but usually the male is the one that's got all the bright colors and fancy markings and all that kind of stuff, and the females are generally more of a subdued, toned down visual appearance. And in this case, this is definitely a female, and I know that by her red underbelly, and most importantly by her spots on her dorsal fins. The males are actually very much more drab looking than this. They don't have any of those bright markings on the dorsal fin. When she raises it, you can really see it. She's got a series of 3 or 4 bright white marks, and they're surrounded by iridescent colors. She's got red on the tip of her tail. Absolutely gorgeous fish. Now, she was the only one in the tank when I purchased her, so it was going to be her or none anyway. She's trying to get out from underneath the leaves, but they're pressed up against the glass, and she's kind of stuck. She's going to have to back up and go the other way and go around. She'll figure it out sooner or later. So she was the only one in the tank, but I would have probably picked her anyway just because of her coloration. Again, I assumed she was male when I bought her just because of those bright colors. Even in the fish stores tank, even in just the your stock tank, there was very clearly some bright colors on this fish. Very, very good looking fish. So I'm not quite sure why her belly is that round. I don't feed this tank that heavily, but she also could be in there eating vegetation. I have recently put another cory in the tank, so possibly some cory eggs have been in there and been available. And then of course I've got all of my other little schooling fish in there, and it's not unusual for them to breed and scatter eggs and stuff, so there's a possibility she's getting some other sources of food besides what I'm giving her. The other thing I wanted to point out is about the tank itself. If you'll notice all of the green growth on the glass, that's all hair algae, and that is all because I've put the lighting back to the way it used to be. For several months I was running this tank on just the one fixture. Since my forward fixture had burned out, I kind of moved the rear fixture towards the center, and we just kind of went with that. And as you can tell, there's a lot of vegetation in this tank, so when the light was right basically over top of that big mass of java there, it really did a good job of soaking up the light before it got into the tank, especially right across the front glass here. Now that I've got my other fixture up and running, and it is indeed right across the front of the tank, I literally have to lift the light up as I lift the hood to get in to feed it. So that much light right in the front of the tank, and it is a twin tube high output T5 with 6500K tubes in it. And as a result, you can see all of that nice lush algal growth I've got going on my front glass there. That's a constant maintenance issue with this tank. It's just something I've dealt with over the years. You can see I've got the rubber lip plecos in here. I've got 2 of them. You can actually see both of them right there. So they do a good job of keeping the tank clean, as you can see, but I've also got that hair algae that not too many fish are overly fond of, and it tends to grow on the front glass. The good side is it wipes off pretty easily, at least in a sort of generalized kind of way. It's algae, so it is not a plant per se, but it is colonies of single-celled plants. So when you wipe it off the glass, while you might be wiping the majority of it off, if you're leaving even single cells behind, and if you look at it very closely, you can see how it's all these little specks, and then the hair algae sort of grows out from the speck, and I get these long sort of flowing strands. It's actually really pretty. It looks like velvet, and in fact it's actually called maiden's tresses, is one of the common names for this kind of algae, and it will grow long and flowing. It's the stuff that if you had a pond in the summer, it would turn into a mat of green scum and no longer look pretty. But in the right circumstances, it's actually a very pretty algae. But if I wipe it off the glass and the glass looks all nice and beautiful and clean, at those little anchor points, if I don't completely remove every single cell, it just starts growing back right at that anchor point, and in a week or two, with all this nice bright light and high nutrient levels, I've got algae growing all over my glass again. So again, it's just part of tank maintenance. You know, as I've said before, if you've got a lawn, you've got to get out and mow it. And if you've got a fish tank, you're going to have to deal with algae growing in there. That's just the way it works. You know, you put light, water, and nutrients together, you're going to get algal growth. So I don't worry too much about it. Like I said, it's all just part of the maintenance. Not going to do any of that tonight. We actually got about 6 inches of snow unexpectedly tonight, and I am probably going to have to be outside working on getting some vehicles dug out and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really looking forward to doing that. So not going to be doing much here in the fish room tonight. But I was just looking up this fish, or looking into this fish online, and found out that it is indeed a female, and I wanted to just shoot a little bit of video about that and have a little bit of chat about the tank. So there you go, everybody. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget, this is my black ghost knifefish tank. For now, there is a black ghost knifefish in here. It just never gets seen, but it really is in there. I promise you. So, like I said, look forward to more coming up on that in the future. And if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of that. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget, this one is my black ghost knifefish tank, and that is my Crenicichla Regani. So thanks again. I'll see you real soon in the next one.